Liverpool let him go. 9 years, 255 goals, 2 Premier League titles. And they let him walk out the door. And now, Mohamed Salah is at the World Cup, making history for Egypt and proving to the entire planet that he still has everything it takes to be one of the greatest players on earth. Liverpool are watching from home. Salah is writing history in Vancouver. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now because today we are breaking down the Mohamed Salah story that the entire football world cannot stop talking about. The Liverpool exit, the Egypt comeback, the historic New Zealand win, and why everything Salah is doing at this World Cup is the most powerful response he could have given to everyone who wrote him off. Let us go. Let me set the scene for you first because this moment needs to be understood properly. Egypt have been playing at the World Cup since 1934, 92 years, 4 appearances across almost a century of football. And in all of that time, across all of those matches, across all of those generations of Egyptian players, Egypt had never won a single World Cup match. Not one. 92 years of hurt. 92 years of coming to the biggest stage in football and leaving without a victory. On Sunday, the 21st of June, 2026, at BC Place in Vancouver, Mohamed Salah ended all of that. Egypt came from behind. They were losing 1-0 at halftime to New Zealand. The crowd was nervous. The pressure was immense. And then in the second half, Salah took over. Mustafa Zico equalized in the 58th minute. And then in the 67th minute, Salah received the ball, passed with Zico in a tight combination, spun onto his left foot, and guided a crisp, low finish into the net. Egypt 2-1 New Zealand. Salah pumped his fist. His teammates mobbed him. The Egyptian fans and a sellout crowd at BC Place erupted. And 92 years of World Cup hurt ended in one moment from one man. Trezeguet added a third in the 82nd minute. Salah providing the assist, his low corner finding Trezeguet unmarked for a diving header. Egypt won 3-1. They went top of Group G. And Salah after the match said words that will stay with Egyptian football forever. In years to come, we will remember that this was one of the achievements in history. It feels like we are playing in Egypt. That is not a footballer talking. That is a man who understands exactly what this moment means to an entire nation. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Egypt won their first World Cup match in 92 years because of Mohamed Salah. Is this the greatest moment of his international career? Drop your answer in the comments right now. The Roberts Football Talk community always has the sharpest takes, and I want to know what you think. Because here is the thing about this performance that goes beyond just the goal and the assist. Salah is 34 years old. He is the oldest player to ever score for Egypt at a World Cup, surpassing a record that had stood since 1990. He came into this tournament having just left Liverpool after 9 years, having just ended the most important chapter of his club career, having just said goodbye to the city, the club, and the fans that made him a global superstar. And he came to the World Cup not to wind down, not to enjoy a farewell tour. He came to fight. The first match against Belgium was difficult. Egypt drew 0-0. Salah was quiet. The questions started immediately. Is he past it? Did Liverpool make the right call letting him go? Was the Salah era truly over? And then New Zealand happened. And every single one of those questions was answered in 23 minutes of second-half football. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now if you have not already, because we are about to get into the Liverpool connection and why what Salah is doing at this World Cup is the most perfectly timed response imaginable. Because here is what makes this story so layered and so dramatic. While Salah is in Vancouver making World Cup history for Egypt, Liverpool are at home under a new manager preparing for a rebuild. Arne Slot was sacked. Andoni Iraola has come in. The entire club is in transition, and the player who was their heartbeat for 9 years, who scored 255 goals for them, who won the Premier League title with 29 goals just last season, is not part of any of it. Salah left Liverpool and his relationship with Slot had completely broken down. He said at one point during the season that his relationship with the manager was non-existent. He accused the club of making him a scapegoat. He said publicly that it seemed someone did not want him at the club. Those were not the words of a man who left on good terms. That was a wound that never fully healed. And now the new Liverpool manager, Andoni Iraola, has admitted he wants Salah back. The philosophy Iraola plays, high-intensity, aggressive, attacking football, is exactly the football Salah himself said he wanted to play in that viral social media post before leaving. The irony is almost impossible to ignore. Liverpool finally have the manager Salah was begging for. And Salah is no longer a Liverpool player. But he has not signed anywhere else yet. His future remains completely undecided. His agent Rami Abbas has confirmed that no decision has been made. Salah said himself before the World Cup that he will see about where to go next and that everything will be clear after the tournament. The World Cup is his stage, and he is using it brilliantly. Egypt top of Group G with 4 points. Iran and Belgium both drawing means Egypt need only a draw in their final group game to advance to the knockout rounds. For a country that had never won a World Cup match before Sunday, making the last 32 would be nothing short of extraordinary. And Salah is the reason it is possible. Now let me ask you something. Salah goal. Salah assists. Egypt into the knockout rounds, potentially for the first time ever. Does this change your opinion of him as an international player? Because there has always been a debate about whether Salah truly performs for Egypt the way he performs for his clubs. Tell me in the comments. I want to hear both sides of this argument. Because here is the record that most people do not fully appreciate. Salah has now scored 68 international goals for Egypt. His goal against New Zealand made him the first Egyptian to score in 2 different World Cup editions. He is the all-time leading scorer in African World Cup qualifying with 20 goals, breaking the record previously held by Didier Drogba, Islam Slimani, and Samuel Eto'o. He is 6 goals away from becoming Egypt's all-time leading scorer at international level, overtaking his own manager Hossam Hassan. And he is doing all of this at 34 years old at a World Cup, having just left the club where he spent the best years of his career. Let us talk about the record books for a moment, because the record books are where Salah's true legacy lives. At Liverpool, he scored 255 goals in 465 appearances, making him the club's all-time top scorer. He won 2 Premier League titles, the Champions League, the Club World Cup, the FA Cup, multiple League Cups. His first season at Liverpool, he scored 32 league goals, the most ever by a player in a 38-game Premier League season. A record that still stands today. He won the Premier League Golden Boot 3 times. He was the heart and soul of Jurgen Klopp's greatest teams. And now he is 34, at a World Cup, still scoring, still creating, still making history. Still walking onto a football pitch with the weight of an entire nation on his shoulders and delivering exactly when it matters. The standing ovation Salah received when he was substituted in the 85th minute at BC Place told you everything. From the Egyptian fans in red who packed that stadium, from the neutral fans who understand what they were witnessing. A player at the end of his club chapter, but at the peak of his international story. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk and share this video, because we are about to get into the biggest question of all. Where does Salah go after this World Cup? And does this performance change everything? Because here is the situation as it stands right now. Salah has confirmed offers from Saudi Arabia. He has confirmed interest from clubs in Italy and France. Reports in British media have suggested that a move to MLS and Inter Miami to play alongside Lionel Messi is currently the most discussed option. And Liverpool, through Iraola's public comments, have left the door open for a return. Every single one of those options looks different after Vancouver. The Saudi option is financial security and a massive salary, but it is the end of competitive football at the highest level. For a man who just made history at a World Cup who is still performing at this level, that feels like the wrong conversation. The MLS option with Messi at Inter Miami is glamorous. It is historic. It is the kind of move that writes itself as a story. But is it the right football decision for a player who clearly still has more to give at the top level? The European options in Italy and France would keep him in top-flight football where he clearly belongs. But would any club outside Liverpool truly understand what Salah is? What he means? What it takes to build around him? And Liverpool. With Iraola. With the philosophy Salah himself demanded. With a club that finally has the manager he wanted all along. Is the story not already written? Does Salah not simply walk back through the doors at Anfield and spend 2 more years delivering exactly what Iraola needs? The drama of it, the poetry of it, the player who was pushed out coming back to the manager who plays the football he loves. That is not just a transfer story. That is a film. But football is not a film, and Salah is calculating. He said it himself. He will take his time. He will see what the World Cup brings. He will make his decision with a clear head and maximum leverage. After Vancouver, his leverage just went up considerably. Because here is the final truth about Mohamed Salah and what he is doing at this World Cup. He did not come here to retire gracefully. He did not come here to tick a box and say he played at a World Cup. He came here to win. He came here to make history. He came here to show every club that wrote him off, every manager who questioned him, every fan who thought the best days were behind him, that Mohamed Salah is still Mohamed Salah. The goal in the 67th minute in Vancouver, the fist pump, the teammates mobbing him, the Egyptian fans on their feet. The first World Cup win in 92 years of trying. That was not a goodbye. That was a statement. And the statement said, I am not finished yet. Egypt face Iran in their final group game. A draw will take them through to the knockout rounds for the first time in the country's history. Salah will be there, ready, carrying a nation. And whatever happens after the World Cup, wherever he signs, whatever club gets to say Mohamed Salah is their player next season, they are getting a man who walked into the biggest tournament on earth and reminded the entire world what he is capable of. Liverpool let him go. And he went to Vancouver and made history. That is the full story. Salah at the World Cup, Egypt's 92-year wait finally over. The record's broken. The future undecided. And one of the greatest players of his generation proving once again that he is nowhere near done. What is your prediction? Does Salah go back to Liverpool? Saudi Arabia? MLS with Messi? Or somewhere completely unexpected? Drop everything in the comments right now. I read every single one, and this is one of the most fascinating transfer stories of the entire summer. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this video with every football fan you know, and subscribe if you are not already part of this channel. New videos every single week, and this World Cup is giving us stories every single day. I will see you in the next one.